this one. If diagonals of a cyclical quadrilateral are diameters of the circle, prove the vertices of the quadrilateral. Prove that it is a rectangle. Figure is not given to you. You have to draw one figure. Okay. How the diagonals of cyclic quadrilateral are? They are the diameters of the circle. How that circle is passing through the vertices of the quadrilateral. Means you have to draw one circle. Okay. And draw two diagonals. Two diagonals so that you have to draw one circle. This is a rough figure. After that, draw two diagonals. Not diagonals, you have to draw of one quadrilateral so that they are the diameters of the circle also. Okay. So here you have center of the circle O, and you have to draw two diagonals of that cyclic quadrilateral, and they must be the diameters of the circle. Okay. That means that the diagonals must pass through the center of the circle. Okay, these are the two diagonals of a quadrilateral A, B, C, D. And now I will complete the cyclic quadrilateral. A, B, B, C, C, D, and C, A. You have to join. A, B, C, D. Okay. First we draw one circle and two diameters we draw. Okay. And next we join that A, B, B, C, C, D and D, A in order. And the center of the circle is O. Now we have two diagonals AC and BD. How they are? They are diameters of the circle also. Okay. AC is the diameter because that is passing through the center, and the diagonal BD is also diameter of the circle because that is also passing through the center of the circle. So now we have to prove that what we have to prove that it is a rectangle. It is means a cyclic quadrilateral is that is a rectangle we have to prove. And what is the definition of rectangle? Rectangle is a quadrilateral in which all angles are equal to how much degree? 90 degree. That we have to prove. Means each angle A, B, C and D, they are equal to 90 degree. You have to prove. How to prove that? To prove that, we have to use only one node that is a result that is this node. Okay, I will write that node here. I think I already gave that angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. Angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. This node we have to use. Okay, and if I gave this node already, you take that node as a star. If not give, then you write in this question as a note. Okay, in this question answer part as a note star. Angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. Means I will explain you. That is, suppose you have a circle. When you have a semicircle, if you draw if you draw diameter like this AOB, diameter is that is the line passing through the center of the circle. And if you draw any angle like this, okay, angle ACB, then this angle is a 90 degree. And if you draw angle like this for diameter AB, then this angle is also 90 degree. Angle in the semicircle. If you have diameter on both sides of it, you have a semicircle. This side also you have semicircle. This side also you have semicircle. So any angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. That you have to keep in mind. That result we are using here 2 times. Okay. So now we just see in that main figure part AC. See AC as the diagonal and as a diameter. Okay. AC is the diameter of the circle. So above AC and below AC you have semicircle. If you can't visualize, I will highlight only part of the figure. You have AC like this, okay, and here you have which angle? Angle ABC. That is, in short I will say that is angle B. And this side of semicircle you have which angle? Angle D. That is angle ADC. Since these two are angle in the semicircle, what we we can say these two angles are equal to 90 degree because we have note angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. Since AC is the diameter, we have semicircle on this side of AC and to the left side of AC also. So both angles in the semicircle are equal to 90 degree. So by that we get angle B and angle D. Both are equal to 90 degree. Okay. So that we write down since AC is the diameter. Since AC is the diameter, you have semicircle, two semicircles because of AC, and in that you have two angles, that is angle B and angle D. Okay, because of AC you have two semicircle, and on both the semicircle you have two angles, that is B in this side and angle D on other side, and both are equal to 90 degree by note of star. Okay. If I give this note already, you take that as a star, by that you note a star. Okay. Then you have to see once again another diameter. It is now another diagonal. That is also diameter of the circle. Like this you have, no need to draw this again. You have now diameter BD. Okay. And because of BD you have two semicircle. You can see above and below BD. And above BD, which angle you have in the semicircle? That is angle A. And below BD you have this angle, that is angle C, BCD. Okay. So these two angles are what angles in the semicircle. Okay. So they are also equal to how much degree? 90 degree. So these two are also 90 degree. And since BD is a diameter, it is a diameter, we can write angle in the semicircle, both semicircle below and above also. Angle A is equal to angle C is equal to 90 degree. This we wrote by using note again, that's same star. Okay. Now what you have, angle A, angle B, angle C, angle D, all are equal to 90 degrees. So what you can say about this quadrilateral ABCD, that is a rectangle, because just now we proved each angle is a 90 degree. So since each angle is a 90 degree, quadrilateral, cyclic quadrilateral, quadrilateral ABCD is a rectangle. Already we have the definition of rectangle diagram, that is a quadrilateral in which all angles are equal to 90 degree, and here we have quadrilateral already, cyclic quadrilateral we have, and in that we proved each angle is a 90 degree here. So we can say that a cyclic quadrilateral is a rectangle. Okay, thank you. Next problem is if non-parallel sides of a trapezium are equal, then prove that it is cyclic. Means that trapezium is a cyclic. We have to prove. Okay. So here you have to draw one rough diagram. Trapezium you have to draw such that its non-parallel sides are equal. Okay. Draw one trapezium so that figure, this is not exact figure. This is a trapezium ABCD, and in that non-parallel sides AB and CD are parallel sides. Which are the non-parallel sides? AB and BC. They are what? They are equal. You are given. Okay. And next you have to prove that is a cyclic quadrilateral, and we already learned in 8th class that if non-parallel sides are equal, that the trapezium is called isosceles trapezium, and we studied some properties of isosceles trapezium also. According to that isosceles trapezium, these base angles are equal. Angle D is equal to angle C, and here if you invert this figure, then these comes in this place. Angle A and angle B are also equal. Okay, and next one more property we studied, that adjacent angles corresponding to parallel sides are supplementary. These are the parallel sides. Adjacent angles corresponding to parallel sides means angle A and angle D, their sum is equal to 180 degree, and angle B and angle C, their sum is equal to 180 degree. And we use that. Next we use one theorem in this circle chapter. Then that proves that this trapezium is a cyclic. Okay. So how to start? Since we have these non-parallel sides are equal, that trapezium is an isosceles trapezium. Okay. Since non-parallel sides AD and BC are equal. ABCD is an isosceles trapezium. Is isosceles trapezium, and in that these angles are equal. These angles are equal. So therefore we can get these angles, angle D and angle C are equal, and if you invert this figure, A and B comes in this place, so they are also equal. Angle A is equal to angle B, and I'll take this whole thing as equation 1. Next we have adjacent angles and adjacent angles corresponding to parallel sides. Are supplementary. Supplementary means their sum is 180 degree. So here adjacent angles corresponding to parallel sides are this angle A and angle D. They are supplementary. So we can write angle A plus angle D is equal to 180 degree, and one more pair we have adjacent angles corresponding to parallel sides, angle B and angle C are also supplementary. Okay, that means their sum is also 180 degree. Angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degree. Okay, any one now we use, I will use this. I'll continue this. What is angle A is equal to here? Angle A place I'll replace angle B using 1 now. Okay, and plus what we have, angle D is equal to 180 degree, and here I'll keep angle C as it is. I'll replace angle B by angle A. So here what we get, angle A plus angle C I kept as it is equal to 180 degree. Okay, so which angle we kept as it is, that I will write in yellow color. Angle D kept as it is, and here angle C kept as it is. Angle B here replaced by angle A, and here angle A is replaced by angle B. That is by using 1. Okay, using 1. And what this implies? Now you observe in the figure, angle B, this angle plus angle D, their sum is equal to 180 degree we proved. And here angle A, this angle and this angle sum is also 180 degree we proved. So this shows what, this implies what? We have one result that I will say now. That is if a pair of opposite angles are supplementary, then what we can say about a quadrilateral, that a quadrilateral is a cyclic quadrilateral. I think theorem 12 or theorem 11 we have like that. That theorem says like this. uh, in the theorem 12 you have, if the sum of pair of opposite angles of a quadrilateral is a 180 degree, then the quadrilateral is a cyclic. Okay, that is the theorem 12. In that theorem what we have, if a pair of opposite angles sum is 180 degree, then you can decide that the quadrilateral is a cyclic. So here we proved both the pairs of opposite angles are supplementary. So what you can say about this trapezium ABCD, quadrilateral ABCD, that is a cyclic by using theorem 12. So therefore by theorem 12, since opposite angles are supplementary, quadrilateral ABCD, a supplementary trapezium ABCD, that is cyclic. Okay. So here main thing you have to observe that if on one parallel sides are equal, then that trapezium is called isosceles trapezium. Only in isosceles trapezium we have like this, that is base angles are equal and adjacent angles corresponding to parallel sides are supplementary. Okay, by that and by using this together, you will get both the pairs of opposite angles are supplementary here. Angle B and angle D, they are opposite angles of that trapezium. They are supplementary, and here angle A and angle C, they are also supplementary. So since we proved both angles, both opposite angles pair are supplementary, we can decide by using theorem 12 that trapezium ABCD is a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay. Next problem is two circles intersect at 2 points B and C. Okay. Through B, two lines through the point B, two lines ABD, that is this line ABD, and PBQ, this line are drawn to intersect the circles at A, D, P and Q. Okay, respectively. Then prove that angle ACP, that is this angle marked in the figure, that angle is equal to angle QCD. Okay, these marked angles are equal, you have to prove. And this is the figure given to you in the question part. Once again, same figure you draw in the answer part. Then we mark something extra there. Okay. So here you take these two angles as angle 1 and angle 2. These two angles, angle 1 and angle 2, that we have to prove they are equal. Okay. So you take that as angle 1 and angle 2, short name of that. And here I'll take these two angles. I'll mark that in a different color. These two angles I'll take that as 3 and 4. Okay, and you have to join these two points A and P. I'll draw that by broken line. Okay, this one we draw extra in answer figure. A and B we joined. Same type of here also we have to join B and Q using broken line. So then what you can see here? See here you have chord AB. Okay, and this side of a chord you have major segment, and we know that angles in a same segment are equal. So what you can say about angle 3 and angle 1? See, I'll highlight that figure, only part of that figure. Like this, you have AB, and here you have angle 3 like this, and angle 1 you have like this part of figure. This one angle 3 and angle 1 I highlighted here in the side figure. No need to draw this again. So here AB, this is a chord and this is the major segment, and angle 1 and angle 3 are the angles in the same segment, so they are equal by the known result, by the known theorem. Okay, and one more part you have to observe, that is on this side. Okay, There we have chord like this. This one we drawn a DQ chord, and here you have angle 4 like this. This is angle 4 and angle 2. This part of a figure you have to observe in this main figure. Okay. Now this is the DQ chord, and this side you have major segment of angle 4 and angle 2 are two angles in the same segment, so they are equal. Once again, by using same known result, okay, angles in the same segment are equal. By that result, we can write angle 2 is equal to angle 4. So we write that in answer part. Answer. Since angles in the same segment are equal, we can write angle 3 is equal to angle 1. Here you have angle 3 is equal to angle 1. Angle 1 is equal to angle 3, and this side you have angle 4 and angle 2. Angle 4 and angle 2. Okay. For both we are using same result. So I wrote it together. Angle 4 is equal to angle 2, and you take this as a equation 1. And here we draw next that I'll write before this you have to write join A and P. Join A and P, and one more set of points P and Q. After that only you can see these two angles as angles in the same segment, and 3 and 1 are angles in the same segment, okay, because we drawn chord AP and chord DQ. After that, using that result, we can write the equation 1. And now one more part you have to observe in the main figure that I highlight here only. That too you have to observe. You have PBQ line like this, okay, PBQ line, and here you have ABD line like this, okay, and here you have what angle 3 and angle 4. How you can see these are two angles as if two lines intersect each other at a point, then vertically opposite angles are equal. So we can write angle 3 is equal to angle 4. Why? Because they are vertically opposite angles. Can you see this part of the figure in the main figure? PBQ and ABD, they intersect at a point B. So these are angle 3 and angle 4. They are vertically opposite angles. So they are equal. Okay. So we write that since ABD and PBQ intersect at B, angle 3 is equal to angle 4 because they are vertically opposite angles. VOA, vertically opposite angles. And I'll take this as equation 2. Now what we have to prove? We have to prove angle ACP is equal to angle QCD. I'll start with the angle ACP. Which name we are given for that angle 1. Okay, I'll start with the angle ACP. Now angle ACP that we have to prove equal to QCD. Start with this angle ACP angle. How we named ACP angle in the figure, that is angle 1. Okay, so angle 1. Next you go for an equation where you have angle 1. Here in this equation you have angle 1, that is equal to what? That is equal to angle 3. So equal to angle 3. Now you go for a equation where you have angle 3. Here you have, don't use this equation again. Okay, which equation you not used? That equation you have to use now. Angle 3 is equal to angle 4. So that is equal to angle 4. But what is angle 4 is equal to? Go for the equation where you have angle 4 and not used. Okay, this equation where you have angle 4 is equal to angle 2. But what is angle 2? Name is QCD. This is angle 2, and that is what? That is full name of that angle is QCD, and is equal to, and write one below the other, angle 3 that is equal to angle 4 we wrote, and angle 4 is equal to angle 2, angle 1 is equal to angle 3 that we wrote by using 1. Okay, and angle 3 is equal to angle 4. There we use the while 2, and angle 4 is equal to angle 2. Once again we use the equation 1, and angle 2 full name is angle QCB. So we started with the angle ACP, and using 1 and 2 we got that is equal to angle QCB. Okay, thank you. Next problem is if circles are drawn taking two sides of a triangle as diameters, okay, then you have to prove that the point of intersection of these two circles lie on the third side. So here a figure is not given to you. You have to draw one rough figure. How you have to draw figure? You have to draw two circles so that two sides of a triangle are diameters of that two circles. Okay, so I'll draw two circles such that the diameters of that circles are also the sides of that triangle. Okay, so one circle like this there. Draw one more circle such that it will intersect this circle, first circle. See, I draw two circles and they are intersecting at two points. That two points I'll take that as P and Q. Okay, two circles I draw, and that two circles are intersecting at two points P and Q. Now I draw two diameters of that two circles. One diameter you draw like this diameter starting from P and through the center of a first circle. Okay, like this, and one more diameter of other circle you have to draw. That is also through the point P and through the center. You have to draw diameter means that should pass through the center of the circle, and start from P and through the center of another circle. So now you have to consider these two diameters as the sides of a triangle. Okay. So now to get to a triangle, what you have to draw? You have to join these two points. Okay. I'll take this point as A, this point as a B. What is this? PA is the diameter of a first circle and PB is the diameter of a second circle, and we take PA and PB as two sides of a triangle. So now we have to join B and A and B are to join, and clearly you can see this point of intersection. Point of intersection of these two circles lie on the third side. AB is the third side. Okay, we take a triangle PAB in such a way that the two sides of that triangle are the diameters of two circles which are intersecting each other at a point P and Q. Then what we have to prove that the point of intersection is this point. Okay, point of intersection of these two circles lie on the third side. That you can see in this figure. But how to prove that point Q is on the third side of AB? To prove that you have to join P and Q. Join P and Q using local line. Okay, and you have to use one result, that is this one. Angle in the semicircle is how much degree? 90 degree. That you have to use here two times. Okay, and I will highlight only part of the figure. Don't draw that once again. You just observe this part of the figure in this main figure. You have like this PQ. Okay, and this is the diameter of a circle A, and like this you have. Okay, in this main figure you have to observe only first circle part. So here what you have, this is what this is the diameter of the circle, and this is what PQA. Angle Q is what that is angle in the semicircle. Okay, angle Q, that is angle in the semicircle. So this is how much degree? 90 degree. Same type you have to observe in another part, another circle also. You have like this. I draw here a part of that figure. Like this you have. This is the PB. Okay, this is the diameter PB, and like this you have what? This is PQ, called PQ. This is a rough diagram. Exact figure you have in the main figure. PB, that is the diameter, and P PQB. What is that? That is a angle in the semicircle. Okay, this is the diameter. So this is a semicircle. Both side of diameter you have semicircle, and we know that angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. Okay, so here observe PB, that is the diameter, and this angle PQB, that is a 90 degree. Why? Because we know that angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. So angle PQB is 90 degree, and since PA is the diameter, this side you have semicircle. So angle in that semicircle, that is a PQA, that is also 90 degree. Okay, so on both sides of this PQ, you have how much degree? Here at the Q, you have 90 degree, 90 degree. So then what is total of that? Total of that is a 180 degree. Means AQB, that is a straight line. Okay, that is a straight line. Means AQB is a straight line. Means what? Point Q is on the line AB. Okay, we have one result that is in a lines and angles chapter that suppose two adjacent angles sum is a 180 degree, then their non-common arms form a straight line. I'll highlight the part of the figure. Okay, here. See, like this, you have PQ, and just now I proved that this angle is 90 degree and this angle is 90 degree, because we know that angle in the semicircle is 90 degree. So by that we got both angles at Q are 90 degree, and total is how much? Total is 90 plus 90, that is 180 degree. Means the AQB, that will be the straight line. Okay. So here what you have PQA and PQB, that are what adjacent angles. Adjacent angles means if they have common side and common vertex. Common side PQ and common vertex is Q. If two adjacent angles sum is 180 degree, then their non-common arms means AQ and QB, they form a straight line. Means what we can say, AQB is a straight line. Okay. So that steps we write in answer part. Answer, we know that angle in the semicircle is a 90 degree. Therefore we can write angle PQA is equal to PQA, this angle is equal to 90 degree, and angle, this side angle Q also, that is PQB, and angle PQB, that is also equal to 90 degree. And now there is some angle PQA plus angle PQB, that is equal to 90 plus 90, adding these two. 90 degree plus 90 degree, that is what 180 degree on right side, and PQA plus PQB, that gives you angle AQB. Okay, that is angle AQB, that is equal to 180 degree. Implies AQB is a straight line. Is a straight line. Why we wrote like this? Straight line, that is by using known result. Okay, I will write that result here. If sum of two adjacent angles is 180 degree, then their non-common arms form a straight line. Okay, we use this. Why? Because these two are adjacent angles, and their sum gives 180 degree here. That is what? That is angle AQB. So these two adjacent angles makes a sum 180 degree, means their non-common arms means this AQ and QB, that form a straight line. So we wrote AQB is a straight line, and AQB is a straight line means you can see Q is on the line AB. What is AB? AB is the third side of a triangle PAB. Okay. So this implies what? Implies point of intersection. What is contiguous point? That is the point of intersection of these two circles. Point of intersection. Point of intersection Q of two circles. Lie on the third side AB of a triangle PAB. Okay, how we taken triangle PAB? So that two sides of that two triangles are the diameters of these two circles which are intersecting at P and Q. And about the figure, I not given any steps. What you have to do is you just keep in mind that if you want, you can write that in pencil. If you want a description about figure, first you have to draw two circles such that they are intersecting at two points P and Q. Okay. After that, you have to draw two diameters. Okay, starting from P and through the center. This is not exact figure. Exact figure is here. And through the point P, one more diameter of another circle you have to draw like this. Okay, take that as PA and PB. What are these are? PA and PB are diameters of these two circles which are intersecting at P and Q. After that, what we done? We joined A and B. Okay, then we joined P and Q. Okay, this much is the description of a figure. And in this figure, you can see that this triangle has two sides of PA and PB, that are also the diameters of two circles which are intersecting at P and Q. And later we have to prove that point Q is on the third side. Point Q means point of intersection of these two circles is on the third side AB of a triangle PAB. Okay, to prove that we join the P and Q. That is extra to do. Okay, if you are not joining P Q, then you can't use the angle in the semicircle is 90 degrees. So for that reason, you have to join P Q. So after that, you have to use angle in the semicircle is 90 degree. Using that, you will get both side of angle Q at the Q 90 degree. And if you take a sum of that, that gives you 180 degree. And these two are adjacent angles. Adjacent angle sum is 180 degree means their non-common arcs form a straight line. Means AQB will be a straight line. That is a straight line means you can see point Q is on the line AB. So that proves that point of intersection Q of these two circles that lie on the third side AB. Okay, thank you.